That's Westmoreland. That's really hard for me to say. He was an Ayn Rand fan before it was cool, and a true patriot, and he is the conservative leader of the GOP in Cleveland County. And he's going to come talk to us on the state level tonight about redistricting in North Carolina, what that means to us.
So what is the biggest issue in this election in November? The president thinks health care is the biggest issue, apparently. Al Gore thinks it's still global warming, in spite of everything that we've seen and read and felt as we walked in. We've heard a lot about is uncontrolled government spending. I think that's certainly one of the overriding issues. Two, our general fund was $13.8 billion. By 2008, it was over $20 billion. Now, inflation during this time has averaged 2% a year. So our state budget's growing 4 times faster than the rate of inflation every year. Let's look at part of the North Carolina Constitution. Representatives, and in a different section, senators, shall be elected from districts. The General Assembly at the first regular session convening after the return of every decennial census of population taken by the order of Congress, which is in the US Constitution, shall revise the representative or senatorial districts and the apportionment of representatives among those districts subject to the following requirements. Each representative or senator shall represent as nearly as may be an equal number of inhabitants, the number of inhabitants that each representative represents, being determined for this purpose by dividing the population of the district that he or she represents. It doesn't say she in the Constitution, but I defer to our senator for the she. By the number of representatives or senators appointed to that district. Next section. Each representative shall at all times consist of contiguous territory. Everything's got to be connected. No county shall be divided in the formation of a representative district. When established, the districts shall remain unaltered until the next 10-year census and the new districts are drawn. You'd think if this were followed, we would have a fairly representative democracy in North Carolina. Would you not? Divide districts fairly, keep county lines together, represent the people. In 2004, 52% of the voters in North Carolina in the state house races voted for Republicans. In the Senate, 50% voted for Republicans and 48% voted for Democrats. The majority of North Carolinians voted Republican in the House and the Senate in 2004. Debbie, did you have a majority in the state house in 2004?
No.
2008, 45 house races were uncontested. Only one candidate running. 19 of the 50 Senate seats were uncontested. 5 out of 120 House seats changed party representation. 1 Senate seat changed representation. Anybody want to take a guess which Senate seat that was?
That's Debbie.
46. Senator Clary, that's the only net change in the state Senate in 2008. You've seen the billboards and mail and everything about the 2010 census. It's here. This is that year. The federal government's going to count us, and after the November elections, our General Assembly is going to convene, and constitutionally they will redraw districts. I'm the Republican Party chairman in Cleveland County, and I'm a partisan. There's no question about that. But let's put partisanship aside and just consider for a moment. If we have one party rule the state the way one party has ruled the state all but a couple years of our lifetime, are we ever going to get districts that meet the constitutionally mandated guidelines?
No way.
What are they doing? And it, Republican and Democrat. If Republicans held total control for 50 years, would we have fair districts? No way. Senate district. Cleveland and Rutherford County, I think, fit neatly. And it's almost funny at times as I go from Rutherford County meetings to Cleveland County meetings, you know how you start picking out, oh, this is just like so-and-so. We're going to have representative districts in North Carolina. The only way we're going to have good government in North Carolina is to send people of both parties that will go and look at this fairly and reasonably to draw districts. You have a choice this November. You've got a House seat that is now made this one of the seats that changes so that for the next 10 years you can be reasonably represented. Whether you want a Republican or a Democrat, you can be fairly represented. If you send that vote back, other districts are going to send that vote back. And you are not going to be represented in your basic core beliefs as a fine man. But he took away your right, tried to take away your right to smoke a cigarette at your place of business. Now, as the vote you cast this year in that House race is a 10-year commitment to the state budget, to property rights, to individual rights, to your representation. Senator Claire's been redistricted 3 times to get her out of Raleigh, and they've not been able to do it yet.